Howdy folks, today we are headed out a little bit south and east of town, just a little bit past the newly formed Walker River State Park. The road that we're going to be taking actually is on one of the road maps, historic road maps that I found online, and I'll see if I can get a screenshot of it for you. But it is one of the roads that leads to, I believe it said that it went to Schurz, but it actually ends up coming out just north of Walker Lake, north of Hawthorne. So now I've gone ahead and run that road before, all the way down to Highway 95, but that's been about, well, let's see, my son is 30 years old, and it was done before he was born, so it's been a while. But we're not going all the way over to the highway, over to Walker Lake today, but there's a corral and a couple of springs that I'm going to show you guys, so stick around, it should be a good time. Okay, so I guess it's called the Walker River State Recreation Area. But at any rate, it's actually become pretty popular. But we're going to be heading off to the east here, just by them two water tanks that are coming up. Following that power line road that's up there for a little ways. Take a little detour up here and show you guys something. don't know if you can see them on the hillside. We'll take a walk up there, but there's all kinds of little caves up there. Little caves and little, you know, depressions or in the rock. Now, one thing I do have to be careful of is it's starting to warm up, and the snakes are starting to come out. Haven't seen any yet, but we definitely want to keep an eye out for them. They're kind of neat little spots, and it looks like somebody's had a campfire here fairly recently. Recently enough that they left part of their damn beer cans here. You doing okay there, Butters? Looks like some kind of critters had a nest or so, or at least probably more than one critter had a nest up in here. We sure do have a pretty view from here. You got the Pumpkin Hollow Mine out there in the distance to the north. And then right center there is East Walker Road, the road we came down. And then the southern, some of the fields, hay fields and stuff in the southern end of Mason Valley. Got a couple more up here to look at, and then we'll get back down and get back on the road. If I can do this without falling on my butt. This is a much bigger one here. This is kind of neat. Now, there's one more up a little bit higher. We'll see if I can climb up to that one. Now, that's about as far as I'm going to go up to that one. That one doesn't really go in all that far. You doing okay, Butters? Okay, dude. Get up to a good spot for you to turn around. Okay, folks, I want to show you something that I picked up. I've seen it on a lot of other videos and YouTube channels, and I thought, man, that's a pretty good idea. So I found one and picked one up to mount on the back of the Jeep so that I can go ahead, and when I find little bits of trash, I can go ahead and just put them in there and then haul them back to the house so they can go to the dump. I would highly recommend that if any of you guys, anybody who's out wheeling, you know, is out in nature like this, pick up one of these bags or something similar and carry it with you to leave the trail, leave the dirt roads, leave wherever you're going better than you left it. It's important that we do this and be good stewards of the land, because if we don't, we're gonna lose it. BLM is looking constantly for a reason to shut down the public land. This has been the case up here in my area for the last 20 years at least. And it's all because of irresponsible land users. People throwing their beer bottles out, beer cans out, think that they can go ahead, and because they're out in the desert, you know, nobody cares, it doesn't matter. Well, it does. So when you go out, tread lightly, leave it better than you found it. Now let's get back on the road. Okay, now we're back from the little detour and headed back to headed out to where we were headed to in the first place. We got some friends out here. Okay, here's where we make the turn to go down to the old corral. If we kept going straight, that would be the road that would take us over to drop us out on 95 just north of Walker Lake. The ranchers should be pretty happy. There's an awful lot of healthy looking calves out here. Have to check the pictures that I took the last time I was out here a few years ago, but it appears that somebody's been out here, maybe done a little bit of work to the loading chute and everything else. Yeah, maybe not. Take you for a little walk around the corral here. I don't believe the cows are going to hurt anybody. Don't know if the puppy dog really wants to be out with the cattle or not. He's not much of a cattle dog. He's never been around them. So we'll see if he gets enough gumption to jump out of the truck. As you can see, you know, it's been somewhat maintained over the years. I'm not sure when it was built, but something has sure decided to make a big old frickin' nest there. None of this stuff is really old. You can see it's all round-headed nails. So it's not like, you know, Old West, you know, 1800s type of construction here. But, you know, with a lot of this stuff too, it does not take all that long for the sun to bleach the wood and make it look like it's been out here for, you know, 100 years. And it also doesn't look like they've used this loading chute for a while. There's no tire tracks and no evidence of trucks being out here, so I'm not sure whose cows these are. But Looks to be pretty well constructed. So, and I'm not sure where the water comes from, but I suspect, I think it's coming from up in the hills. There's a spring up there, which is where we're going to go to. And I think, if I remember correctly, there's a water line that comes from that spring, and it comes down here. So they've obviously got water here, and that's the reason why they're hanging around. But it's pretty cool to find this stuff out in the middle of the desert here. You know, it's proof that Nevada is not just, you know, open desert that nothing happens in, because that's definitely not the case out here. Well, I think the cows seem to be protesting our presence, so I think we'll get back in the Jeep and head on up the road a little bit further. Let's head on up the trail here a little bit and see if we can see where that water is coming from. You know, when your kid loses their balloon for their birthday and you wonder where the heck it went, I can show you where it went. right there is where it went. One of the many of them. I found, I don't know how many of these little mylar balloons out here in the middle of nowhere. And they don't just go up and away and never come down, or never go in, you know, just to disappear into the atmosphere. They end up out in the desert somewhere. Well, let's get that one picked up and we'll head on up the road. Cattle out here actually have a pretty good supply of water. So, but I know that this ain't the main source of it. So let's keep going on up the hill. Are you ready to go on up the hill, buddy? Yeah. corral and the other little water trough that we saw. So we're going to get out and take a walk around here. That's an awful pretty view from up here. Unfortunately, it's a little hazy today, so you don't have near as clear a view as you'd like. But this is one of the water troughs here. And then you can see the ranchers have gone ahead and fenced off the source of the water. And they do that, I've been told, to go ahead and keep the cattle from trampling the spring. Because if they're allowed to just come in here and you know, without any kind of containment, they'll trample the spring. They'll turn it into a freaking mud hole, and you know, and basically close the water off. But you can see where it's coming from, that pipe there, and I would suspect that is good, clean water. It's one thing to look for out in the desert. If you're running low on water, look for a nice green patch. And that nice green patch will generally mean water. And berry bushes as well. Let's see if we can find exactly where the source of the water is. And yes, we will be coming and picking up all these shotgun shells before we leave. Because there is another spring down the road a little ways. It's kind of up and over another little hill here. I got a feeling we're not going to find the actual spring itself. Although, yeah. Just because of the bushes here. Are you coming, buddy? Yeah, poor Butters. He don't get out and run like the puppy dogs on some other YouTube channels, but he does the best that he can. He likes getting out. Well, it's still pretty early in the year too, so I know the last time I was here, all of the trees and the brush and stuff here was all really green. So maybe we'll come back a little bit later on in the season. But I think it's time to get back to the Jeep and head on up to the next stop. coming into the next spring. And you can see there are some partakers of the water here. Wondering what the heck we're doing here. We're not going to get out at this one here. You can see how it's fenced off to keep the livestock from going in there and trampling the spring. You can see that up there. There is a little building up there, and I, for the life of me, have not found the road or trail to get up there. And even though it looks like we could just go cross-country boonie crashing to get up there, that's not the cool thing to do. Not only that, but that kind of stuff is the kind of stuff that gets the attention of the ranchers and gets the attention of the BLM, and can create issues. So I guess what we're going to have to do is scour Google Earth a little bit better when we get home and see if we can't find the trail that goes up to that. Alright folks, that's the end of this one. We're going to head on back to the barn. We'll have to find another way to get up to that cabin another time. But stick around. We've got a lot of really cool stuff coming up this spring and this summer. So remember, like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell people you don't like. It don't matter to me. But again, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.